When you think about your questions, you want to make sure you've researched, you've done everything possible to find out all you can know about the person you're interviewing, and then you want to write your questions, and you want to write your questions with a purpose, your purpose. Why am I doing this interview? Who is this person? What do I want people to know about them? You know, and make sure you write down your questions and make them logical. If you're going to start asking about the person's training, when did you go to school? How early did you learn? When did you learn that you like music? How many instruments do you play? And all that. If you ask about the beginning of their lives, then stick to that part, because if you ask about the beginnings of their lives and then you ask about their new big hit and then you go back to the beginnings of their lives, it's going to seem a little bit disjointed. So when you format your questions, be sure to ask them in a logical order that makes it sound like a conversation. If you ask, oh, here's my favorite. I need a volunteer, please. Oh, good. Come on down. Because I want to teach you about why you need to avoid yes and no questions. Okay. I just want, you can just stand here at the microphone if you don't mind, please. Okay. Are you a Loyola student?
Yeah.
Are you studying physics?
No.
Are you going to be a brain surgeon when you get out of here?
No.
Do you wish I'd let you sit down?
Sure.
Okay, but you can't, all right? You can't. Because now I have to give examples of how, if you were doing an interview, how you would ask the questions, okay? What made you choose Loyola?
It's awesome.
2 words.
I heard about it at the college fair and just started learning more about it. Yeah. And I came down here and auditioned, and I got in, and yeah, that's happened about it.
Don't leave. I want you to notice something. What did I ask him? An open-ended question, thank you. I asked him, what made you choose Loyola? He could have said anything. And did you notice how uncomfortable I made him? Because he didn't answer me, to my satisfaction. So I just stood here like Mike Wallace on 60 Minutes. So I just looked at him. And it's called an awkward silence when you don't give them anything. I'm not you, you're not my enemy. I'm just using you as an example. But you don't give the person you're interviewing much time to wiggle out of the question. If they haven't answered your question, you can just sit there. And it's so awkward to have silence in the conversation that the person is generally going to say something. So you can usually get some really good information from somebody if you pull that awkward silence. Anybody ever break up with somebody before? Yeah, okay. You know what it's like when you ask a question, especially if that other person wasn't being faithful or great or whatever, and you ask them a question and they don't answer you sufficiently and you just wait. It's like, that's not the answer I'm looking. And you wait for that awkward silence. You give them that pause. That's the thing that's going to get you the answers to your questions. Another question, let's see. What do you plan to do career-wise once you leave here?
I plan on working for a record, like a studio, maybe a record store, whatever I can get.
And beyond that?
And beyond, I'm pretty open-minded about it.
Okay. So did you get a card from Mr. Fowler from Tipitinas?
Sure.
You may want to do that since you're pretty open. What industry experience have you had, and do you plan to attain before you graduate?
I'm sorry, repeat the question.
Do you have any experience in the industry?
Somewhat. I've worked with recording equipment, and I had a band that put out a CD.
Cool. How did it do?
It was pretty good quality CD.
Pretty good quality CD. That probably means.
The sound, wasn't it wasn't done with like one microphone on like a drum.
Mm-hmm.
It was like done with like stuff that's relevant, like the industry that they use.
So if people want to do some recording, they could see you already because you have that experience.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, this man has experience. He has talent. He's done some things. Thank you. And look at that. He gets a card, and he. Another thing you have to be careful of when you're doing interviews is try not to be so caught up in your list of questions that you don't listen to what the person is saying. You're so busy looking at your next question that they might have just answered your next question in their answer, and you're listening and you know, okay, well, I've got to ask this question because it's next, because that's how I planned it. And you ask that question anyway because you're going to look a little like you're not paying attention. So pay attention, because a lot of times what's going to happen when you get somebody to interview is they're going to tell you something that doesn't even answer the question that you asked, but it's going to take you in a better route. So you want to go with that, and you just want to be a little bit flexible. You don't want to be, tied, bound to your questions, because they're just a guide. They're not necessarily what you have to do. Microphone techniques. If you're mic'd in on the set, you won't have to worry about where the microphone goes, because there are people handling that for you. There's Josh. Josh already has me mic'd, so I don't have to worry about what to do with the microphone or where it goes. But ladies, just for your information, when they give you a lavalier microphone, that's what this is, to put on, always turn your back to the camera. You know why? I worked in news for 11 and a half years. I can't tell you how many times the people in production, and nothing bad about people in production, I love production people, but they would get stills of people in various stages of putting on their mic. So you just want to turn away from the camera, and I'm turning towards the other camera. So you turn away from the camera, put your mic on, and then turn back around, and you're all dressed. So that's just one little tip for the ladies. With mic checks, and unless you're with a band and you're doing, it sounds really cool to say mic check 1, 2, 3, 4. If they ask you for a microphone check, what you want to do is just speak in your normal tone of voice and just say something that you would say ordinarily. My dog Sam loves Greenies and Frosty Paws. And the only time he's ever been mad at my dog Danny, the puppy, is when she came over to steal his Frosty Paw. But Sam has such a good attitude that he would never bite her or growl at her or anything. He just gives her that look, like, that's mine. I know you have your own. And that's how you give a mic check, because the person who's doing audio doesn't want to hear you say, mic check 1, 2, 3, 4. You know why? Because that's not how you're going to be talking through the whole interview. So find something that you're going to be talking about and say it, or find something that you feel comfortable saying and say it. That's your mic check. Everybody get a pen. You still need the same partners. Everybody has a pen? Get one out. Because you're going to learn how to use a microphone. You don't blow into it like I just did. That's not a good thing. Okay, everybody have a pen? Here's how you do it. When you speak into the microphone. And when somebody answers your question, you move the microphone to them. And they talk. Okay, so now remember you just were talking to somebody. I want you to ask that person a question, and I want you to let them answer you, okay? So ask the person a question while you're speaking into the microphone, and then let them answer like that. Right. Everybody think they got it? Anybody really good at it? You're really good at it? Okay, you have to bring your partner down here. Come on, you guys come down here. Both of you. Because you have to have somebody to interview. Come on. And I think you guys are really good. I noticed you especially, so why don't you, you two, come on down. No, you guys too? Okay, come on. Both of you, all 4 of you. Can we get this microphone? Okay, I want you to do just a quick interview with him, please.
One question each, or how many?
Just feel it. Go for it. Let's see how you do.
How long have you played the congas for?
15 years.
What other instruments do you play besides the congas?
Trumpet.
Very interesting. Shall I keep going, or should we
Sure,
switch?
keep going.
What foreign countries have you visited, Carlos?
The Dominican Republic.
Very interesting. Would you consider yourself an island or a mainland man?
Island.
I agree.
Wonderful. Good job. We heard every word they said.